we don't promote positive and ownership of your company. I'm making it cool to be smart.
No, Your Honor.
Anything from the state, Mr. Keller?
The state will submit based on that stipulated agreement. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Golden, the court is going to impose a fine in the amount of $25,000 and order you to pay that today. It does appear that you do have a cashier's check in that amount now. And so based upon the stipulation between the state of Utah and Mr. Golden, the court will reduce his 4 felony counts on the identity fraud and the forgery down one step to Class A misdemeanors pursuant to Utah Code 76-3-402, and your case will close. Now, the reason that the court is willing to sentence you to just the fine and then closing the case, Mr. Golden, is because it's been represented to me that there is a global resolution between federal prosecutors and state prosecutors whereby you will be serving a substantial amount of time in federal prison, apparently 27 months, and after which 60 months of supervised probation, where you'll be monitored to make sure that you're doing well in your active recovery and that you are staying out of trouble and not having any dangerous weapons, including firearms, in your possession. Mr. Golden, I've seen so many times that good men and women who have a lot of talent and potential, that they can be robbed of that potential when they start to really struggle with their addiction. So I don't want that for you. You seem like a very talented young man. I'm hoping in your future that once you're done with your federal prison time, that you can be really successful on federal probation and have a really bright future where you can reach your full potential.
What's going on with all my billionaires out there? This the guy Hood's Billionaire. Welcome to Hood's Billionaire TV. Big favor, big abundance. It's cool to be smart. On today's episode, we're gonna be talking about NBA young boys sentenced to 27 months in this drug fraud case. Let's talk about it. Man. So on November 19th in Utah, NBA young boy whose real name is Kentrell Deshaun Jackson pled guilty on charges stemming from a prescription drug fraud scam. Okay, so he was running a drug fraud scheme. They were allegedly saying from his house, from his multi-million-dollar house, this boy was running a drug plot where he was getting prescription medicine, and I believe for use. And I'm gonna talk about that at the end. I mean, NBA young boy then said he got a drug problem. I couldn't see him selling it. And YB deal with the prosecution. He didn't get a state prison sentence, so he lucked out where he not gonna have to do no state time, right? He kind of just pled out on some of the state charges. In Utah, he pled out to 2 counts of felony identity theft fraud. He pled out to 2 counts of forgery. So he pled out on the state a lot of this. I think he had like 46 charges on the state level, and they end up dropping it down to a couple and some misdemeanors. He just got to pay a $25,000 fine for those charges stemming from the state of Utah. The time he gonna have to be doing is gonna be fair time, so he gonna serve 27 months in fair time for related charges that are similar to those, and then he got to do 5 years probation after that. So he did end up racking up some fair time. Y'all know the feds was trying to hit him with that gun case, and he ended up getting those charges dropped. So he finna have to end up doing some fair time after all behind similar charges to this, where he gonna do 27 months. Now this is gonna be a time for YB to get up in there, right? Sober up. That's gonna be the number one thing. Hopefully he get in some type of drug program or something in there. Sober up. The drugs is really the thing that I believe even he would say. He said it many a times. You know what I'm saying? The drugs were giving him issues. The drugs had him out of control. The drugs had him making bad decisions. YB done spoke on this. He done showed many a times where he be having hella pills on the floor, on the floor in his mouth, and he just trying to show you what's going on with him. So hopefully when he do that fair time, he going to get in a drug program in there, get his body right, start working out, You know what I mean? And just get on a healthier regimen, man, and be a healthier, happier YB. So when he come out, he can hit the ground running and he can really take off. You know what I mean? Even though YB already a big superstar, but I mean, just entertainers, you know, are learning, and we learning as a culture with our entertainers that drugs and a healthy life don't go hand in hand. They don't. Hardcore drugs and a healthy life don't go hand in hand. I'm not talking about like marijuana. Like, I mean, that's something I know. Old guy, I know. You know, my Uncle Benny just passed away not too long ago. I think he's damn near in his 80s. That boy was still smoking a joint a day. So that part, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about hardcore drugs. The pills, the perks, the Xannies, the lean. You know what I mean? All that synthetic stuff, the coke, the Molly, the X, you thinking you can do that stuff for a really long time? You can't. It's gonna have negative effects on your overall health. It's just gonna happen. So you gotta know how to. You have to know how to really let that stuff go, for real. I mean, you hear all of the top 50 say he don't do drugs, he don't do nothing. You know what I'm saying? He like to keep a sober mind. You feel what I'm saying? Same with Jay. Jay saying this songs, he might hit the joint a couple of times and sip a little champagne or something, but he don't really do no drugs for real. You know what I'm saying? Same with Yo Gotti. Yo Gotti said the same thing, man. I might hit the, you know, hit a little joint every blue moon and sip a little ace or something, but I don't really do no too much. The drugs will take you off your path, you know, and I just kept that in the culture. You know what I'm saying? In regards to people that I would use. But I mean, if we go outside the culture, it'd be like that, man. You know what I'm saying? Look up Reginald Lewis. One of the first black men to acquire $1 billion company in America. Well, he was the first black man to do that, man. I listen to his book or read his book, Watching White Guys Have All the Fun. And once again, he another one. You know what I'm saying? Rich, billionaire. You know, I only sip a little champagne every now and then, you know what I'm saying, when I want to celebrate. You know, it's just ways that you go about life, man. But when you do the heavy hardcore drugs, this is the type of stuff that start. Now you running a drug scheme out of multi-million-dollar mansion, you know what I'm saying, in order to get your fix. It's like, bruh, it ain't even that serious. So maybe that's a wake-up call for YB. You know, it ended up 27 months. I mean, that's what, 2 years, 3 months. Yeah, 2 years, 3 months. I mean, you know, jail time is jail time. I don't want to spend a day, an hour in jail. But I mean, you know, 27 months, man, he'll still be able to have a career. You know what I mean? He'll still be able to get out, have a career. Hopefully he's sober and he just better suited mentally. You know what I mean? I seen this thing where Drew Finland not only was representing YB, but he representing Dirk also as well. You know what I'm saying? So this the thing, y'all gotta stand. The lawyers in the system end up getting all the money and the clout in the end, bro. They don't care if y'all beefing. They don't care what's going on. You know what I'm saying? And y'all gonna go with the best. And the best don't care if you got an issue with him or he got an issue with you. It's about the money, man. It's about the money. You know what I'm saying? So that's really what it's about. That boy Drew Finland a beast. I seen where he was supposed to take Big Meech's case. He was Big Meech's lawyer at one time. That boy Drew Finland. That's crazy, man. That boy, him and Brian Steele, that must be the guys you gotta call if you trying to get out of a case. You know what I'm saying? You gotta hit them guys up. So I respect that, but man, we gonna see what happens, man. But kids, let this just be a lesson, man. Stay sober. Follow your dreams, okay? Stay sober. Follow your dreams. I'm not. Drugs are only gonna take you off your path. Drugs are never gonna get you to where you gonna be. They only gonna dilute it. It's gonna make it worse. You gonna start to walk a different path. It's gonna be unbeknownst to you. You just gonna be starting to walk a different path, man. Them hardcore drugs, I don't care that they glamorized it. I don't care that they made it cool. I don't care if they trying to make it like that's the thing to do. It's not the thing to do. It's not the thing to do, and it's gonna end you up in federal prison. I mean, that's what's gonna end up happening. You go end up, I'm just using that as an extreme. You might not end up in federal prison. You might end up in the grave faster. You know what I'm saying? You might end up with a bunch of bad and torn relationships because people like, man, you be wigging out when you be on them drugs. You might, put yourself in a lot of bad situations. So learn from YB. Learn from this. You know what I mean? Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments, man. It's the guy, Hoods Billionaire TV, Big Favor, Big Abundance. It's cool to be smart. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, It's the guy, Hoods Billionaire, Big Favor, Big Abundance. I'm gone.